and desire success, yet most drift through life without the habits that make success inevitable. They cling to hopes, waiting for luck, while quietly surrendering their greatest weapon, discipline. Success does not come by accident. It is built brick by brick through habits forged in fire. If you look closely at those who achieve, you will see not luck, but patterns. You will see routines that act like magnets, pulling opportunity into their lives. And the difference between those who rise and those who remain in mediocrity is simple. Some force themselves into the right habits while others indulge the wrong ones. The first truth is this: habits create destiny. Not occasionally, not sometimes, but always. A man who disciplines his mornings disciplines his life. A woman who commands her thoughts commands her world. Every small repeated act becomes a vote toward who we are becoming. Consider the farmer. He does not plant his field once and wait for a lifetime of harvests. He returns each season, placing seed after seed, knowing that habit alone ensures the crop. So it is with our minds, our work, our daily rituals. The question is not whether we have habits. The question is whether they serve us or enslave us. Imagine for a moment a ship without a rudder drifting at sea. It moves, yes, but without direction. Every wave, every gust of wind carries it further from the harbor it might have reached. That is the life of the man who avoids the discipline of habits. He rises late, speaks carelessly, fills his mind with trivialities, and wonders why fortune does not smile upon him. He does not realize he has abdicated the helm, but contrast him with the one who grips the wheel, who fixes his eyes upon a port, who adjusts daily with unwavering routine. That one, no matter the storm, reaches shore. Habits are the rudder of life, and without them we are condemned to drift. Let us strip away illusions. Greatness is not born from bursts of inspiration. It is not the sudden strike of genius that creates empires. It is the grind of repetition, the quiet enforcement of rules upon oneself, even when no one is watching. The pianist masters not in moments of passion, but in hours of scales. The athlete wins not in the arena, but in the silent mornings when he forces his body to train. And so it is with success itself. Those who attract wealth, influence, and freedom do so because they force their days into habits that guarantee them. Inspiration will fade, habits endure. What then are these habits that attract success? They begin in the mind. Thoughts become seeds, and seeds become reality. Think of it. Every invention, every company, every fortune began as a thought pressed upon the mind with consistency until it became flesh. The man who thinks success, who speaks it, who moves as though it were already his, begins to attract it as surely as iron to a magnet. But the one who entertains doubt, fear, and resentment attracts failure just as faithfully. You cannot think failure and walk into success. You cannot think small and live large. The law is absolute. We become what we think about. Say it aloud, write it down. We become what we think about. Let it never leave your mind. The body follows where the mind leads, and the environment follows where the body works. Therefore, force yourself into the habits of thought that sustain vision. Begin each day with the clear picture of who you are becoming, and watch as your actions align with it. Wake early, for every hour of the morning holds tenfold the power of hours wasted at night. Write down your goals, for the faintest ink is stronger than the strongest memory. Speak your affirmations, for the words you repeat program the depths of your being. If you neglect these habits, your mind becomes a wilderness. If you cultivate them, your life becomes a garden. Let us not pretend this is easy. The human mind resists discipline. The body seeks comfort. Habits once formed bind us, whether in chains of steel or wings of freedom. The man who habitually indulges in excuses, in laziness, in distraction, will find himself bound and unable to move toward his dreams. But the one who forces himself daily, even painfully, into the rituals of discipline soon finds that those very habits carry him effortlessly. At first you carry your habits like a burden. Soon they carry you like a river. The law is this: first you make your habits, then your habits make you. Now, if you are listening, if you truly seek success, I ask you to ingrain this law into your spirit. Do not merely nod at it. Do not treat it as an idea among many. Write it, speak it, declare it. Let it echo in your mind every morning and every night. First I make my habits, then my habits make me. Say it aloud, let your voice claim it. First I make my habits, then my habits make me. Every time you write it, you brand it upon your future. Every time you act on it, you align yourself with the immutable law of success. Do not underestimate the power of a single declaration. Words are seeds, and when spoken with conviction, they root deeply into the soil of the mind. The world will try to sway you, tempt you with ease, distract you with noise, but the one who carries an iron creed within him cannot be shaken. Begin yours today with this affirmation. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubt. Write it, speak it, say it now. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubt. Write it, speak it, say it now. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubt. Write it, speak it, say it now. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubt. Write it, speak it, say it now. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubt. Write it, speak it, say it now. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubt. Write it, speak it, say it now. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubt. Write it, speak it, say it now. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubt. Write it, speak it, say it now. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubt. Write it, speak it, say it now. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubt. Write it, speak it. Each repetition engraves it deeper until it becomes part of you. And when it is part of you, your habits will align with it, and your future will reflect it. This is the beginning of mastery. To force oneself into habits that attract success, to accept the discipline others refuse, to command the mind, and in doing so, command life itself. The path is narrow, the work is steady, but the reward is inevitable. Those who choose habits choose destiny. Those who neglect them choose regret, and the great secret is this: destiny is not chosen once, but daily in the quiet repetition of habits that become the pillars of fortune. Begin today. Begin now. For what you do daily, you become permanently. Every day, life presents us with a quiet choice: comfort or growth. The tragedy is that most choose comfort, never realizing that comfort chosen once becomes habit chosen forever. And comfort as a habit is the slowest form of decay. Look around and you will see the evidence written on faces and lives. Men who once dreamed of greatness but surrendered to the ease of indulgence. Women who once envisioned a future of abundance but allowed themselves to drift into routine mediocrity. What robbed them was not lack of intelligence nor lack of opportunity. It was the silent addiction to comfort that hardened into habit. Success is not denied to them by fate, it is refused by their own unwillingness to suffer the discipline of new habits. The law of cause and effect makes no exception here. A man who eats poorly daily should not be surprised when sickness becomes his companion. A woman who neglects her mind, who fills it with gossip and triviality, should not expect wisdom to suddenly arrive at her door. And those who never push themselves into routines of focus, courage, and effort should not imagine that wealth or achievement will materialize. Habits are causes, and results are their effects. There is no mystery to it. To demand success without forcing oneself into the habits that create it is like demanding harvest without planting seed. It is to live in contradiction with the universe itself. So the question becomes, what habits must we force upon ourselves to attract success? Let us begin with the simplest, and yet the hardest, the habit of thinking. Most people would rather do anything than think deeply about their lives. They escape into distraction, they avoid the mirror of reflection. But success begins in thought. Thought is the architect. Habit is the builder, and destiny is the house. You must train yourself to think deliberately, to guard your mind as you would guard treasure. Spend time each morning shaping your vision, rehearsing your goals, questioning your actions. Do not drift into the day unprepared, for the world will eagerly supply you with trivial thoughts if you do not choose your own. Equally important is the habit of action. Thought without action is potential wasted, and action without habit is scattered energy that achieves nothing. To succeed, one must act daily, consistently, regardless of mood or circumstance. This is where most fail. They act only when inspired, when motivated, when conditions are ideal. But the achiever acts because the habit commands him. He writes when others wait for inspiration. He works when others sleep. He studies when others waste time. And because he forces himself into the habit of action, he receives results that others mistake for talent or luck. Luck favors the disciplined. Opportunity appears to the prepared. Consider also the habit of perseverance. It is easy to begin, it is noble to finish. The world is full of men who started ventures, who declared visions, who dreamed loudly but abandoned quickly. The difference between those who succeed and those who vanish is simply that the successful formed the habit of continuing, even when enthusiasm faded. Perseverance is not natural, it is forced until it becomes second nature. The one who daily refuses to quit, who daily forces himself to take one more step, soon realizes he has crossed distances that others never imagined. Write this down. Let it brand itself upon your heart. I persist until victory. I persist until victory. Speak it aloud and let your spirit know there is no retreat. Another vital discipline is the habit of learning. A man who ceases to learn has already begun to decline. The world changes, knowledge expands, and those who cling to yesterday's understanding are left behind. To attract success, force yourself into the habit of daily study. Read, listen, observe. Not casually, but deliberately, as one sharpening a sword. Even 10 minutes a day compounds into mastery over years. Most will not do this, and so most remain ordinary. But you are not here to be ordinary. Say to yourself, I am a student of wisdom. Daily I grow, daily I rise. Repeat it until it is no longer a statement, but a law governing your very being. Discipline itself is a habit. At first it feels like chains, rising early when you would rather sleep, working when you would rather play, resisting indulgence when you would rather give in. But over time, those chains transform into wings. What once felt like imprisonment becomes liberation, for discipline gives freedom. Freedom from poverty, freedom from weakness, freedom from regret. The man without discipline is a slave to his impulses, tossed about like a leaf in the wind. But the disciplined man becomes the master of his days, and in mastering his days, he masters his life. The chains of discipline or the chains of regret, those are the only options. And yet, let us not deceive ourselves. Forcing these habits requires struggle. The first weeks are war against the self. The mind resists change, the body craves ease, the old patterns fight to survive. But every repetition weakens the old and strengthens the new. Every day you act against comfort, you drive a nail into the coffin of your former self. Every day you act in line with your vision, you breathe life into the person you are becoming. Success is not a single victory, but 1,000 small victories, invisible to the world, but monumental within. Therefore, ingrain this law. Success is the child of daily discipline. Say it aloud, let your voice carry it. Success is the child of daily discipline. Write it, remember it, live by it. For when the day comes that you stand before your results, you will see clearly that every fortune, every victory, every triumph was the echo of your daily choices. What you repeated became what you received. What you forced yourself into became what the world recognized as mastery. And so if you wish to attract success, do not wait for motivation. Do not depend upon chance. Do not plead with fate. Seize the habits that shape destiny and force yourself into them until they force success upon you. Build them brick by brick, day by day, with the faith that every stroke, every word, every act compounds into an unshakable foundation. For in the end, life gives not what we ask, but what we demand through habit. And habits are demanded daily. Begin now, begin always, and never stop. The reason so few rise to true greatness is not because the path is hidden, but because it is too plain, too ordinary for the masses to respect. People search for secrets, shortcuts, hidden formulas when the truth is before them. Success is simply the result of right habits, forced until they become natural. Yet this simplicity offends the lazy mind. It cannot accept that greatness comes from repetition, from self-command, from forcing oneself into patterns that seem small in the moment, but immense in their accumulation. Remember this, the ordinary habits you repeat daily determine the extraordinary results you one day hold. Think of time, that silent ledger that records every action. Each hour, each day is an entry in your account. Most wasted, treating time as though it were infinite. But the disciplined man treats each hour as sacred. He forces himself to use time as an ally, not an enemy. And this too is a habit, the habit of stewardship. To plan, to allocate, to guard against theft of time by distraction. Success belongs not to the one who has more time, but to the one who masters the time given. For the man who wastes an hour has confessed he does not value life. Time is life. To abuse one is to abuse the other. Consider also the habit of focus. In an age of noise, this habit has become rare, and so it has become priceless. The average man scatters his attention like seed thrown on stone. No harvest will come of it. But the one who forces himself into the discipline of focus multiplies his power 100-fold. To sit, to work, to think without distraction, to hold the mind on a single purpose until it bends reality itself. This is focus. And this must be practiced like an athlete practices his craft. At first the mind rebels, restless, eager to flee into ease. But each time you command it back, you strengthen the muscle of attention. And the one who owns his focus owns his future. Another habit that must be embraced is courage. Yes, courage itself can be trained, can be forced into habit. Most shrink at risk, avoid uncertainty, and in so doing they avoid growth. But the successful build the habit of stepping forward despite fear. They call fear by its name, look it in the eye and act anyway. And each repetition of courage makes the next easier until boldness becomes second nature. Those who retreat from fear build the habit of retreat. Those who advance despite fear build the habit of conquest. Which will you choose? Every day offers the chance to rehearse courage, to force yourself into it until it defines you. Do not neglect the habit of gratitude. It may seem soft compared to discipline, focus, and courage, but it is the foundation of joy and endurance. The ungrateful man cannot attract success, for his heart is always bitter, always empty, no matter what he gains. But the one who daily forces himself to see blessings, to give thanks, builds a habit that multiplies his strength. Gratitude clears the mind of resentment, opens the eyes to opportunity, and feeds the soul with endurance. To write, to speak, to silently acknowledge what is good, this too must become a habit if life is to be rich. Wealth without gratitude is poverty in disguise. Success also demands the habit of vision, not merely having goals written once, but revisiting them, seeing them, rehearsing them until they burn into the subconscious. The successful live each day as though their future were already secured. They see it, speak it, act it, until it hardens into reality. Vision without habit is fantasy. Habit without vision is aimless. But combined, vision and habit become unstoppable. This is why you must daily force yourself to return to your goals, to sharpen them, to feel them as though already achieved. For the mind cannot distinguish between vision rehearsed and reality experienced. It builds the path either way. Now, let us ingrain this into our being. Say it, write it, declare it. I master time, I master focus, I master myself. Speak it again. I master time, I master focus, I master myself. For as you declare it, so you become it. Habits are not merely actions of the body, they are convictions of the spirit. The world outside bends to the law engraved within. When you hold this affirmation, when you live it, you reprogram not just your actions, but your very identity, and identity is destiny. Realize this truth. The habits you force today will one day feel effortless. What is painful discipline now becomes unconscious mastery later. The habit of rising early becomes natural energy. The habit of focus becomes instinctive clarity. The habit of courage becomes unshakable confidence. And what once felt like chains becomes wings that carry you. Do not despise the difficulty of forming habits. It is the very proof that you are forging a new self. Each struggle is the sound of your old weakness breaking. Each repetition is the forging of a new strength. So commit now, not to wishful thinking, not to passive hope, but to the daily force of habit. Know that life bends toward the one who commands himself. Say aloud this law and let it anchor in your heart. I command my habits, and my habits command my future. Write it, live it, repeat it until it becomes unshakable. For when this truth is yours, success is not a possibility, it is a certainty. Habits are destiny, and destiny belongs to those who master themselves. Most people fail not because they lack the desire for success, but because they underestimate the silent power of repetition. A single choice seems small, a single action insignificant, but the repetition of that action carves grooves into the mind and soul. Those grooves, once deep enough, become rivers that carry us without effort. Whether those rivers lead to fortune or to ruin depends on what we repeat. The tragedy is that most repeat what is easy, what is pleasurable, what is immediately satisfying, and so their rivers flow downward into mediocrity and regret. But the wise man forces himself into repetitions that build him upward, and soon the climb becomes a glide. Take the habit of speech. The words you speak daily create the atmosphere in which you live. Most people poison themselves with complaint, with doubt, with small talk that weakens the spirit. They do not realize that their tongue is a sculptor, carving their future with every sentence. But the one who forces himself to speak with vision, with faith, with determination, builds an inner climate that attracts strength. Each word spoken is a seed, and the harvest is inevitable. If you wish for wealth, speak wealth. If you desire wisdom, speak wisdom. If you long for courage, speak courage. Words repeated daily become beliefs, and beliefs shape destiny. Do not forget the habit of environment. A man is not only the product of his thoughts and actions, but also of the soil in which he plants them. Surround yourself with those who complain, and you will soon complain. Surround yourself with mediocrity, and your standards will fall. But place yourself among the disciplined, the ambitious, the strong, and you will be forced to rise. To attract success, one must deliberately shape environment as carefully as one shapes thought. Books, voices, surroundings, all are influences that compound. And so make it a habit to choose your influences wisely, to feed your mind with greatness daily. Equally powerful is the habit of consistency. Anyone can rise early once. Anyone can work hard for a week, but success demands the steady drumbeat of daily consistency. The world crowns not the sprinter, but the marathoner. Consistency is proof of seriousness. It is the habit that separates the dreamers from the achievers. To force yourself into consistency is to declare that your goals are not negotiable, that your vision is not a whim. Every day you show up, you engrave the truth into your being. I am a builder. I am unmovable. I am destined for victory. And when consistency becomes a habit, success becomes inevitable. Let us also speak of the habit of self-control. The man who cannot master appetite, emotion, and impulse is forever a slave. He may gain wealth but lose it in excess. He may gain power but lose it in anger. Self-control is the unseen fortress of every achiever. To force oneself into the habit of restraint is to build an empire that cannot be toppled. It is to know when to speak and when to remain silent, when to spend and when to save, when to act and when to wait. This habit, though hidden, shines through every action, and it marks the difference between those who endure and those who collapse under their own weight. There is also the habit of service. At first glance, it may seem contrary, forcing yourself to serve others to attract success. But the law is simple. He who serves most earns most. To give value daily, to make it a habit to contribute more than is asked, is to place yourself in harmony with the great law of compensation. Those who only take diminish, those who only receive weaken, but those who build the habit of giving, of serving, of creating value for others, open channels through which abundance flows back. To serve is not weakness, it is strategy. It is a habit that magnifies every other habit, for it makes you indispensable. And so, ingrain this law today. I am consistent, I am disciplined, I am valuable. Say it with conviction. I am consistent, I am disciplined, I am valuable. Write it, repeat it, let it pulse through your being until it is no longer words but identity. For once you believe it, you will act upon it. And once you act upon it, results must follow. Every affirmation spoken daily strengthens the habit behind it until thought and action merge into certainty. Think of the oak tree. It does not grow by sudden leaps, but by rings added year upon year, invisible in the moment, undeniable in the long view. So it is with habits. Day to day, the change seems small. But over years, the growth becomes mighty, unshakable, undeniable. Those who force themselves into small daily habits of greatness become unmovable pillars, while those who neglect them remain as grass, swayed by every wind, forgotten by every season. Therefore, choose today to force yourself not into comfort, but into discipline, into words that strengthen, into environments that lift, into consistency that compounds, into self-control that fortifies, and into service that multiplies. These are not suggestions, they are laws. Write them, speak them, live them, and let this affirmation guide you as you build, my habits are my fortress, my habits are my crown, my habits are my destiny. If you study the lives of those who rose from nothing to greatness, you will notice a thread that runs through them all, the habit of relentless clarity. They knew what they wanted and they forced themselves to return to that vision every single day. Most men drift chasing a dozen desires with no anchor, and so they scatter their energy until nothing is achieved. But the disciplined man writes his vision, repeats it, ingrains it, and bends every habit toward it. Success is not a matter of chance. It is the inevitable consequence of clarity pursued with unshakable routine. The habit of goal setting is not to be underestimated. A goal once written becomes a contract with the self. To read it daily is to remind the mind who it serves. The tragedy is that most never write their goals, and so their lives are written by chance, by others, by circumstance. But the man who forces himself into the habit of defining his aims gains a compass that never lies. Every action is measured against it, every choice judged by it. With goals, life becomes ordered. Without them, life becomes noise. Say it aloud now. I am a man of purpose. I live by clear goals. I refuse to drift. From clarity comes another vital habit, the habit of prioritization. The world will try to enslave you with urgent distractions, demanding your time for the trivial, the unimportant, the meaningless. But the achiever builds the habit of asking, does this serve my vision? If it does not, it is discarded. If it does, it is embraced. This one question, repeated daily, becomes a filter that protects the mind and saves the life from waste. To attract success, force yourself into the habit of choosing the vital over the trivial, the important over the immediate. Every yes to distraction is a no to destiny. Every no to distraction is a yes to greatness. Let us also examine the habit of resilience. Success is not the absence of failure, but the mastery of it. Life will strike, plans will collapse, people will betray, circumstances will shift, and yet the successful rise again and again because they have built the habit of refusing defeat. They condition their minds daily to see setbacks as lessons, to see rejection as redirection, to see pain as preparation. This is not natural, it is forced until it becomes instinct. At first, resilience feels like defiance. In time, it becomes identity. Write it down. I rise after every fall. I learn from every failure. I grow stronger with every test. Another indispensable practice is the habit of self-examination. The average man lives outward, judging others, criticizing the world, never turning the mirror upon himself. But success belongs to the one who daily examines his own life with honesty and courage. What did I do well today? Where did I falter? How can I improve? This simple habit, repeated, compounds into self-mastery. The one who avoids self-examination repeats mistakes until they become fate. The one who embraces it transforms weaknesses into strengths. Say it aloud. I examine myself daily. I correct myself daily. I refine myself daily. And in time, you will find that you have sculpted yourself into the person your vision demands. Do not neglect the habit of faith. Every achiever, every creator, every leader carried within him a faith stronger than doubt, stronger than fear, stronger than evidence against him. Faith is not passive hope, it is an active habit trained daily. It is the decision to believe, to speak belief, to act as though the unseen were already here. To attract success, one must force oneself to practice faith, to rehearse it, to anchor it in the subconscious until it becomes the default. When the world says no, faith whispers yes. When obstacles rise, faith declares they will fall. Make this declaration yours. I walk by faith, I act with faith, I conquer with faith. Resilience, clarity, prioritization, self-examination, and faith. These are not occasional practices, but daily disciplines. The man who forces himself into them builds an inner fortress that no storm can breach. He does not wait for mood, for motivation, for inspiration. He acts because his habits command him, and his habits align with the laws of success. This is the secret the masses overlook. Greatness is not in what you do once, but in what you repeat daily, deliberately, relentlessly. Understand this. The world does not reward wishes, it rewards habits. You may desire wealth, but only the habit of disciplined action will deliver it. You may desire influence, but only the habit of service and mastery will attract it. You may desire peace, but only the habit of self-control and gratitude will sustain it. Desires are cheap, habits are priceless. To want is easy. To force oneself into habits that guarantee the result, that is rare, that is greatness. So ingrain this law today. My vision is clear, my habits are firm, my destiny is certain. Speak it now with conviction. My vision is clear, my habits are firm, my destiny is certain. Write it, rehearse it, believe it until it becomes the unshakable truth of your being. For when it is written in your soul, every action will align, every decision will reinforce it, and every day will move you closer to the life you are destined to live. Habits attract success, and success belongs to those who command their habits. Begin again tomorrow, begin again always, until your life is the living proof of this law. Most men imagine that success is an event, a breakthrough, a sudden strike of fortune that changes everything overnight. But this is a lie the world repeats to keep you docile. Success is not an event. It is a process, and the process is habit. What you force yourself to repeat daily will one day erupt into results so massive that the world calls it sudden, when in truth it was earned quietly over years. The man who wakes early, who studies daily, who guards his words, who acts with courage, his life compounds silently until one day the evidence can no longer be ignored. Success is not an explosion, it is an accumulation. This is why the habit of patience is essential. We live in a culture addicted to speed, to instant gratification, to the illusion of quick victories. But the universe does not rush. Oaks do not grow in weeks. Empires are not built in days. Character is not forged overnight. Patience is not passive waiting, it is active endurance, the daily decision to continue in habit without demanding immediate reward. The farmer does not dig up the seed each morning to check if it has sprouted. He trusts the process. So must you. Say it now. I am patient, I trust the process, I persist until the harvest. For patience combined with discipline is unstoppable. Equally vital is the habit of order. Look at your surroundings, your desk, your home, your mind. Chaos outside reflects chaos inside. Disorder weakens the will, confuses the mind, and wastes energy. But order, practiced daily, sharpens the spirit. To attract success, you must force yourself into the habit of organizing your time, your space, your priorities. The disciplined man wastes no energy searching for lost tools, no hours confused by scattered plans. He lives in order, and order multiplies power. Build this habit not once, but daily until order becomes your natural environment. For success thrives in structure, while failure festers in chaos. The habit of health must also be embraced. What good is wealth without the strength to enjoy it? What use is achievement without the energy to sustain it? Your body is the vehicle of destiny, and it must be maintained. The average man destroys himself with indulgence, feeding weakness, neglecting exercise, living as though his body were indestructible. But the wise man forces himself into the habit of care, eating to strengthen, resting to renew, training to endure. He does not chase comfort, but longevity. He does not live for the moment, but for the mission. Make it your law. My body is strong, my body is disciplined, my body serves my purpose. Do not overlook the habit of silence. The world is loud, filled with voices that seek to distract, to control, to occupy the mind with noise. But the successful carve out silence daily to think, to reflect, to hear the inner voice that guides them. In silence, vision sharpens. In silence, strategy forms. In silence, strength is renewed. The undisciplined fear silence, for it forces them to face themselves. But the disciplined embrace it, for they know that silence is power. Build the habit of retreating daily into quiet, even for moments, and you will discover treasures the noisy will never find. Another practice is the habit of bold decision. Many lives are wasted in hesitation, in endless pondering, in the fear of making the wrong move. But indecision itself is a decision, and it always leads to stagnation. To succeed, you must train yourself to decide swiftly and act firmly, correcting course as needed but never sinking into paralysis. This is a habit like any other, formed by repetition. Each time you choose quickly, each time you refuse hesitation, you strengthen the muscle of decisiveness, and decisive men attract opportunity, while hesitant men repel it. Declare it now. I decide boldly, I act firmly, I move forward without fear. When these habits, patience, order, health, silence, decisiveness are woven into your days, you become a fortress against weakness. You are no longer tossed about by mood, no longer enslaved by impulse, no longer dependent on chance. You rise each day guided by principles, by laws, by habits that cannot fail. And the world, seeing your consistency, begins to treat you as inevitable. Respect follows, influence grows, opportunities multiply. Not because you chased them, but because your habits attracted them. Ingrain this law into your mind. Success is the reward of ordered habits. Speak it aloud with conviction. Success is the reward of ordered habits. Write it, memorize it, live by it until it governs every choice. For once your life is aligned with this law, you no longer hope for success, you guarantee it. Habits are not chains to restrict you. They are the architecture of freedom, and freedom is the crown of every disciplined life. So take today, take this very hour, and ask, what habits am I building? Are they chains or are they wings? Are they leading me to regret or to triumph? The answer is written not in your desires, but in your routines. Build habits worthy of your destiny, and your destiny will rise to meet you. There comes a moment when a man must decide whether he will be ruled by circumstance or by command of himself. Most never reach this decision consciously. They drift, they react, they surrender. But the one who forces himself into disciplined habits takes the throne of his own life. He ceases to be a victim of chance and becomes the architect of destiny. The difference between slavery and mastery lies not in fortune, but in daily habit. Each repetition of self-command is a brick in the throne you build. And one day, without noticing, you will find yourself seated upon it, unshakable. Let us now consider the habit of courage in speech. The average man silences himself, fearing rejection, ridicule, or misunderstanding. He allows truth to die on his tongue, and in so doing betrays himself. But the man who builds the habit of speaking boldly, with clarity and conviction, attracts respect, even from those who oppose him. Words are signals of strength, and strength commands to force yourself to speak truth, to voice vision, to declare intention. This is a habit that magnetizes opportunity. Say it now. I speak boldly, I speak clearly, I speak with power. Each declaration strengthens your spirit until silence born of fear is no longer possible. Next comes the habit of responsibility. Weak men blame parents, blame leaders, blame society, blame fate. Strong men assume responsibility even for what is not entirely theirs because they know that power follows responsibility. Each time you force yourself to accept responsibility instead of casting blame, you take authority over your life. The habit of responsibility is the habit of sovereignty. For as long as you blame, you submit, but when you claim responsibility, you rise. Speak it. I take full responsibility. I accept full command. I shape my future. This is not only affirmation, it is law. Now turn to the habit of restraint. Not every battle is worth fighting, not every provocation worth answering. The undisciplined man burns energy on trifles, proving himself to fools, defending himself against shadows. But the disciplined man restrains himself, choosing battles with precision. His power compounds because it is not scattered. Restraint is not weakness. It is stored power, ready when needed most. To build this habit is to conserve energy for destiny, not waste it on distraction. Each time you restrain yourself, you grow stronger. Each time you indulge, you grow weaker. Let your creed be, I master restraint, I choose my battles, I conserve my strength. Equally important is the habit of strategic vision. Most men live only in the day, consumed by immediate pleasures and concerns. But success belongs to those who force themselves to think in years, in decades, in lifetimes. They play the long game, structuring habits not for momentary gain, but for enduring mastery. The man who saves, invests, builds, studies, plans. He is laughed at in the moment, but envied in the end. Every habit must be tied to vision that stretches beyond the hour. To train yourself to think long is to ensure that short-term impulses never steal long-term destiny. Say it with conviction. I think ahead, I see far, I live for the future. Then there is the habit of composure. Life will test you, tempt you to rage, to panic, to despair, but composure is the sign of mastery. To remain calm under fire, steady under attack, unshaken by storms. This habit elevates a man above the masses. Composure is not natural, it is practiced. Each time you refuse to lose your center, each time you breathe instead of breaking, you strengthen the habit of steadiness, and those who cannot be shaken cannot be defeated. Declare it now, I remain calm, I remain steady, I remain unbroken. For composure in the storm is the mark of true command. When courage in speech, responsibility, restraint, vision, and composure become habits, the very atmosphere around you changes. People begin to trust your words, depend upon your steadiness, follow your lead. Opportunities seek you out because opportunity craves stability. Influence gravitates toward the disciplined, never the chaotic, and wealth flows to those who can be trusted with it. None of this is chance. It is all the compound effect of habits lived daily until they become identity. Therefore, ingrain this truth. Habits of command create lives of command. Speak it aloud. Habits of command create lives of command. Write it. Let it burn into your spirit until you act by it without hesitation. For every day you repeat it, you rise further above the drifting masses. Every day you enforce it, you solidify your reign over yourself, and the man who rules himself is destined sooner or later to rule circumstances, opportunities, and life itself. Remember, the throne of success is not gifted, it is constructed. Construct yours brick by brick through habit, and one day you will look back to see that what others envied as power was nothing more than repetition, discipline, and command forced upon yourself until it became effortless. Begin now, continue always, and let no day pass without laying another stone. The habits that attract success are not only personal disciplines, they are also habits of influence, habits that extend beyond yourself and shape the world around you. For no man rises entirely alone. The most powerful lives are those that create ripples, pulling others upward by the force of their example. To live this way, you must force yourself into habits that not only strengthen your own character, but radiate strength to all who encounter you. Influence is not an accident. It is the byproduct of disciplined habits made visible. The first of these is the habit of reliability. Nothing destroys a reputation faster than inconsistency, and nothing builds influence faster than dependability. To do what you say you will do, to keep commitments, to show up when others falter, this is rare and therefore it is valuable. Reliability is a habit, not a trait. It must be forced until it becomes second nature. Each time you follow through, even when inconvenient, you lay another stone in the fortress of trust. And once you are trusted, doors open that remain forever closed to the unreliable. Say it now, I am reliable, I am consistent, I am trusted. Next is the habit of leadership through example. The masses demand of others what they refuse to demand of themselves. They call for honesty while they deceive, for courage while they cower, for discipline while they indulge. But the man of success reverses this order. He first forces himself into the habits he requires of others. He does not ask for punctuality unless he himself is punctual, nor demand discipline unless he himself is disciplined. Leadership by example is not easy, but it is magnetic. It attracts loyalty, respect, and opportunity, for people trust what they can see. Make it your law. I lead by example. I lead by discipline. I lead by truth. There is also the habit of persuasion, not through manipulation, but through clarity of thought and strength of conviction. Most men speak with scattered words because their habits of mind are scattered. But the disciplined thinker who has forced his mind daily into clarity, who rehearses his vision until it burns, persuades without effort. His words carry weight because they are forged in the fire of repetition and belief. Persuasion is not luck, it is the echo of mental habit. Each day you think clearly, you prepare your words to command when the moment comes. Say it aloud. My words carry weight, my words create change, my words attract power. Do not neglect the habit of generosity. Success is not hoarded, it multiplies through giving. The stingy man shrinks, the fearful man clings, but the one who daily forces himself into the habit of contribution becomes a channel for greater flow. This is not mere charity, it is strategy. To add value wherever you go, to give knowledge, encouragement, service, to exceed expectation, is to ingrain a habit that makes you indispensable. And indispensability is the root of wealth and influence. Affirm it now. I give freely, I serve greatly, I attract abundance. Another habit of influence is composure under pressure. The masses panic, the leader steadies. The masses complain, the leader focuses. To maintain poise when others collapse is not instinct, it is habit, trained through countless small acts of calm in daily life. Each time you refuse to let anger rule you, each time you choose clarity over chaos, you strengthen the habit of composure. And when crises strike, you will stand while others fall. The world follows composure, for it craves stability. Say this with force: I am calm in storms, I am steady in chaos, I am unshakable in trials. When these habits, reliability, example, persuasion, generosity, composure, become your routine, you rise naturally into influence. People trust you, follow you, invest in you because your habits prove you are worthy. The world crowns not the loudest, but the most consistent, not the brash, but the reliable, not the boastful, but the disciplined. Influence is the shadow your habits cast, and once earned, it multiplies your opportunities beyond measure. Ingrain this truth into your mind. Influence is the reward of disciplined habits. Speak it aloud with certainty. Influence is the reward of disciplined habits. Write it, live it, and let it command your choices daily. For the man who forces himself into habits that radiate strength cannot help but attract respect, loyalty, and power. He does not beg for attention, his habits demand it. He does not chase influence, his habits make it inevitable. The habits you form today are writing the reputation you will live with tomorrow. The question is whether that reputation will open doors or close them, whether it will draw people or repel them. Choose well. Build habits worthy of respect, habits that prove your strength in silence long before you ever speak. And soon you will discover that success is not only what you achieve, but what your very presence inspires in others. The greatest habit of all is the habit of self-mastery, for every other discipline flows from it. Without mastery of the self, habits collapse under pressure, routines dissolve in temptation, and goals fade at the first sign of struggle. Self-mastery is the crown that holds all other jewels in place. It is the decision, renewed daily, that nothing within you will rule you except your highest vision. Desire will not rule you, fear will not rule you, anger will not rule you, only your will, sharpened by habit, commands. And once this habit is established, success ceases to be a possibility, it becomes inevitable. Begin with mastery of thought, for the battlefield of destiny is the mind. Each day thoughts arise, doubt, envy, fear, distraction. Left unchallenged, they calcify into habits that poison a life. But the disciplined man refuses entry to poison. He trains his mind to dwell only on what serves him. When negative thoughts arise, he replaces them with strength. When fear whispers, he answers with faith. When doubt intrudes, he drowns it with vision. This is not done once, it is done daily, until it becomes instinct. Say it aloud. I master my thoughts, I master my mind, I master my destiny. For what you master within, you command without. Next comes mastery of emotion. Most are slaves to their feelings, rising when mood is high, collapsing when it falls. But the man who forces himself into the habit of emotional control becomes unshakable. He does not erupt at insult, does not crumble in sorrow, does not lose himself in joy. He feels, but he governs. His emotions are servants, not masters. And because of this, his decisions are sound, his actions consistent, his influence profound. Build this habit by daily practice. Pause before response, breathe before reaction, choose before impulse. Each repetition strengthens the muscle of mastery until emotion serves you instead of sabotaging you. Then there is mastery of desire. Desire is fire. When harnessed, it cooks, forges, drives engines. When uncontrolled, it destroys, consumes, devours. To attract success, you must force yourself into the habit of directing desire toward your vision, not scattering it upon trivial pleasures. The weak man chases indulgence. The strong man converts his desire into fuel for discipline. Each time you deny an empty craving, you feed the fire of destiny. Each time you surrender to it, you weaken. Make this your creed. My desires serve my destiny. My passions build my power. My discipline directs my fire. Mastery of time is equally vital. Time is the one resource no man can recover. The undisciplined waste it endlessly, chasing diversions, indulging distraction, acting as if tomorrow were promised. But the man of self-mastery forces himself into the habit of guarding time as sacred. He spends it only on what builds, invests it only where it multiplies, protects it from theft by trivialities. To waste time is to declare your life worthless. To master it is to declare your destiny priceless. Speak it now. I guard my time, I honor my time, I invest my time in greatness. Do not neglect mastery of the tongue. Words are not cheap. They are seeds, commands, weapons, bridges. The undisciplined speak carelessly, wasting power, sowing poison. But the disciplined master the habit of silence when silence is strong, of precision when words are needed, of uplift when encouragement is required. Each day choose your words with care, for they will return to you multiplied. Write it now. My words are power. My words are law. My words shape my world. Repeat it until every sentence you speak advances your destiny. Finally, there is mastery of will. The will is the general that commands the army of habit. Without it, nothing holds. With it, everything yields. To build the habit of will is to prove to yourself daily that you can command your body, your mind, your spirit. Rise when tired, act when afraid, persist when weary. Each time you force yourself to do what is hard, you sharpen will. Each time you surrender, you dull it. And when will becomes habit, no obstacle can stand before you. Affirm it with force. My will is unbreakable. My will commands my life. My will secures my destiny. When these habits of mastery, thought, emotion, desire, time, tongue, and will become your routine, you rise beyond the reach of mediocrity. You are no longer swayed by circumstance, no longer a puppet to impulses. You become a master in a world of slaves, a commander in a world of drifters. Success bends to such a man, for he has proven he can command himself, and once you command yourself, you can command anything. Ingrain this final law: self-mastery is destiny. Say it aloud, let it etch itself into your soul. Self-mastery is destiny. For the man who rules himself cannot be defeated, cannot be denied, cannot be forgotten. His habits carve him into legend. His discipline carries him to triumph. His mastery crowns him with success that endures. Let us not forget the habit of gratitude in achievement. For success without gratitude hardens into arrogance, and arrogance corrodes from within. To force yourself into daily thanksgiving, even at the height of triumph, is to anchor yourself in humility. It is to recognize that every result came from law, from principle, from the Creator who designed order itself. Gratitude keeps success from poisoning you, keeps power from corrupting you, keeps wealth from owning you. Make it a habit to say, I am thankful, I am blessed, I am entrusted. For gratitude is not weakness, it is strength preserved. The final habit that attracts success is the habit of vision lived daily as reality. Most men dream as if success were distant, an image to be admired but never possessed. They wait for permission, for signs, for certainty. But the man who forces himself to live his vision as though it were already true bends the future toward himself. He walks with confidence before he has reason to. He acts with authority before the crown is placed on his head. He carries himself as a master long before the world acknowledges it. And because his habits confirm his vision, the world has no choice but to comply. This is the law of assumption practiced as habit. Each morning, you awaken and step into the identity of the person you are becoming. You think as he thinks, speak as he speaks, act as he acts. You do not wait to be rich to live with discipline or to be powerful to carry composure. You force yourself into the habits of wealth, of mastery, of greatness now, and soon reality adjusts. The weak say, I will be one day. The strong say, I am today. And their habits align with their declaration until the vision is undeniable. Write it now. I live my vision daily. I embody my destiny now. I attract what I already am. Then comes the habit of renewal. The disciplined man does not burn himself to ash. He balances intensity with restoration. Daily renewal through reflection, rest, silence, prayer, or study is the habit that ensures longevity. Many rise quickly only to fall as quickly, for they neglect renewal. But the one who daily sharpens the blade, oils the machine, restores the spirit, endures for decades. Renewal is not indulgence, it is strategy. Write it, speak it. I renew daily. I restore daily. I rise daily. For the man who renews himself cannot be broken by fatigue or by time. Finally, there is the habit of daily affirmation, the law spoken into being. For every habit you build must be reinforced with words of power, words engraved into the subconscious until they are unshakable. Do not dismiss this as ritual. Affirmation is repetition, and repetition is the root of habit. Each day affirm the laws that have guided us. I make my habits, and my habits make me. Success is the child of daily discipline. Habits of command create lives of command. Self-mastery is destiny. These are not phrases to admire. They are codes to repeat until they become flesh. Say them now. Let them thunder within you. There is also the habit of legacy. Success is not measured only by what you gain, but by what you leave. To force yourself into habits that outlive you, to teach, to build, to serve, to write, to create, is to ensure that your influence stretches beyond your years. Wealth can vanish, titles can fade, but habits passed on through example endure in others. To attract success that lasts, you must live not only for your own rise, but for the impact you engrave upon generations. Declare it now. I build legacy. I plant seeds. I live beyond myself. So ingrain the ultimate affirmation, the one that crowns this entire journey. I am one with success. I am one with discipline. I am one with destiny. Speak it now. Write it now. Live it now. For the man who forces himself into these habits will discover that success is not something he chases. It is something he attracts, something he becomes. And once you become it, nothing and no one can take it away. Understand this. The future belongs to the man who refuses to drift, who refuses to delay, who forces himself into habits that guarantee success. This is no mystery, no secret hidden from you. It is a choice made daily to command the self. While others beg for ease, you embrace discipline. While others scatter their efforts, you build routines. While others wish, you act. And because of this, your destiny